maybe for YouTube as well. I might put this to YouTube. So let's give some context of why I'm showing a replay now. There was this question about how to adapt and how to figure out what kind of mistakes you make. And I think I got a good replay that I just played right now to show the difference, okay? Like on the difference in
Corona age
how to play a match and what to look out for, understanding habits and countering them mid-match and what you want to do. So let's take a look at this replay and see how I played it. What was I thinking about? What did I want to do, and why did it fail? And how did I respond after that? Because it's a good example of, well, adapting mid-match. Because all you're doing is testing your opponent. You're testing your opponent, see what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, and then you're changing your style based on that information. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into this. And you will need a lot of experience to do this properly. Okay, so let's take a look at this round. Okay, I'm losing this round. Let's try to analyze what am I thinking about and what I'm trying to do. And what you wanna do is whenever something fails, you need to understand why it failed. That's like the most important thing to recognize. I actually missed a couple of opportunities here, but it's not like a big deal. It would have been a difficult confirm anyways. But I want to make you focus on why I lost or where I got hit that caused me to fail. I tried to get that confirmed, but I was a little bit too late. So far, it's been like a mid-screen struggle a little bit, with a couple of confirms missed here and there, but I'm basically, like, I'm doing okay still. I'm actually not doing too poorly. I still have the life lead here. But you'll notice right now what goes wrong. So now I definitely have the life lead. Why do I lose this round? See that? I tried to go in there in a greedy way and I got punished by the V-trigger. That was a mistake already. I'm not changing my approach on Wake Up because I'm expecting him to press buttons. No throw so far from me, so that's something that is interesting to note as well. He's just been blocking, no attempts to do anything else. And then I jump in and I get wrecked right there, right? So this is the moment where he teaches me, even in a tense situation, he will anti-air, so I need to be careful with the jump-ins. Now take a look at what I'm trying to do here in order to take it back. Now I'm at a disadvantage. What am I going to do here in order to take it back? I'm trying to throw fireballs slowly. But take a look at this elbow. This is the elbow that really showed why I'm doing it wrong in this position. I noticed earlier, okay, I can't jump in. Walking forward in his face is maybe a bad idea because of his normals, because Alex has pretty good normals, right? And throwing fireballs, he's willing to use elbow to interrupt or catch me with it as well, right? So he's willing to challenge the fireball game with his special attacks. Right there. That chop right there was just there because he had a read on a fireball, right? So I recognized that right there. I recognized, okay, I was not getting anywhere with just throwing fireballs. And I need to mix it up in a way that makes it difficult for him to understand. Like, I need to punish him for his approaches. That's more accurate. And take a look at that. You get interrupted right there because I'm doing a fireball right away. The reason why I throw this fireball is because I want to establish that I'm going to keep throwing fireballs and I'm not going to take a risk. I want to get this win 100% without taking a risk. Just like in round one, I was just trying to go in like crazy. And only at the very end, I started adopting a more serious style with the fireballs, but I got punished. And that's because he's trying to beat the fireball game in a specific manner. And here you'll see where I'm going to adapt in order to make that in order to take it back. I throw the fireball to establish, hey, I'm still going to be throwing fireballs. So use your shoulder and or your chop or your elbow to try to get through that. That was actually unfortunate because I was expecting why jump right there. Right there. Why did I jump right there? Actually, let's go back here again. I'm establishing right there that the fireball game is coming, right? So I expected him to do like a chop right there. If he did a chop in this spot, my jump in that I did right there would have punished him. And that was like, that's a safe approach for me, right? Because I'm really far away. There's no way he's going to punish that. But if I'm correct on the read, I'm going to take a huge advantage right there. I was wrong, but that's okay. Then, okay, I'm committing to another, like, this is the first option that I commit to that is indeed risky, which was unfortunate because I think this would have worked. This would have definitely worked. I just mistimed my hard punch, so I ran out of active frames, and because of that, I didn't hit him. That was kind of sad. But you'll see throughout the game what I'm doing now. See that? That's what I'm talking about. Like, why did this neutral jump work? The Alex player is thinking way more about the fireball game. And because of that, he's doing stuff to counter that. He expected me to wake up with the fireball. I do a neutral jump. Ah, damn, I accidentally did that. Doesn't really matter. Well, let's see that again. So I did a neutral jump because I expected him to do some kind of special move that moves him forward. And that neutral jump can punish it. That's exactly what happened. So here, I take the life lead and the knockdown. Here, I take the first throw, so I'm establishing a different kind of approach in the OK situation as well. Really important. Don't go for the same options all the time. Mix it up so your opponent has to guess. Here, I'm taking a risk by dashing in. It's not a big risk. But yeah, my opponent still, he would not have teched in that spot. I could have, actually, did he tech? Let me see. Maybe, yeah, he did tech. Interesting. I need to delay it a little bit, but this is like after a throw, dashing in is quite risky, so you generally don't want to delay too much. I'm actually getting punished later on as well, so maybe you'll see that in action. I'm not sure if this is this round or last round. But here we go again. The fireball game is established. Take a look at that. Take a look at that again. What am I doing here? I'm playing the fireball game, but I'm trying to be smart about it. So I neutral jump in this spot. This is a very calculated neutral jump. This is a very calculated neutral jump. Just in case he does the chop, I'll be able to hit him there. No risk involved, but I make sure that he can't challenge the fireballs that easily. How do I prioritize my wake-up options? I'm just trying to figure out what the opponent does. If my opponent techs, I know that I can do a lot of damage by doing late buttons, for example. That's really the only mix-up that you need. Either throw or do delayed buttons. So you'll see a lot more neutral jumps from me right there. Again, I'm just doing a lot of neutral jumps. So far, he's not shown an answer, and I took the life lead in a big way as a result of just neutral jumping from time to time in the mid-screen, right? Pay attention to how he did not tech in this instance. I did a shimmy. Like, take a look at that again. I did a shimmy. No tech. That medium punch that I did right there, that would have beaten a tech if he had done that. So he was not covering throw again, which we'll get back to later. Fireball game again, mid-screen, neutral jumping. I'm putting him in another situation where he has to guess between a throw and a shimmy. I go for another shimmy, but he doesn't tech once again. and another neutral jump, and he's getting absolutely wrecked because of those neutral jumps, right? Keep in mind, like in round 1, I don't think I've done a single neutral jump. Or maybe I did a neutral jump like once, but it wasn't part of the gameplay, really, right? Here I'm establishing a completely different game. Round 1, I went in like crazy. I could have actually won that game if I had a little bit cleaner punishes, but I didn't want to risk losing to a low diamond, right? So what I did was I established a different play style that I realized my opponent's going to have a hard time countering because of the approaches that he's shown in round 1. And I have like this life lead is just a result of that change alone. And this is something that I want to, that's what I mean when I say you need to test your opponent. You need to test your opponent. The reason why I always say whenever I find a low diamond player that I have a really hard time beating, in a lot of cases I will say, I will call Smurf, right? I will say that might be a Smurf, because normally with this change alone, I can figure out a weakness in their gameplay. Because they're really slow to adapt normally. And if they're not slow to adapt, it's a big warning sign that this might be a Smurf actually. I'm surprised he hasn't anti-aired your jumps. I mean, he'd be taking a guess. It depends on, like, all of the jumps have all been calculated so far. And he's honestly lucky that he's even alive at this point, because that one time when I forward jumped, he was doing a crouching medium punch because he was trying to interrupt the fireball. And if I had timed the hard punch correctly, that would have killed him. Like, that would have led to a lot of damage. So at the moment, even though, like, I actually missed out on damage and I'm still dominating here, right? And that was not the case at all in round 1. And now you can see him be kind of desperate because he's kind of frustrated with the fireballs and the other approaches. He's been getting wrecked doing them, right? He's doing the chop and he's getting wrecked. Neutral jump in case another chop is coming. And now he finally does something that could have ended in like a really negative situation for me. He dashed in and then did a crouching, like a shoulder. What is that move? The anti-air shoulder thing, right? Because now he's finally willing to do something about that. But yeah, that's what I mean. That was like the most important part that I want to show. But let's take a look at what happens in round 3 and what kind of adaptation is going to happen for my opponent. Because at this point, there's no reason for me to change anything, okay? Once you establish a style that works, there's really no reason to change it unless you know your opponent is going to adapt to it quickly. But in general, you need to test your opponent. It's on my opponent's... My opponent needs to show that he noticed what happened, and he understands what kind of changes need to be done in order to take that round back. So let's see what I'm going to do here. Neutral jump again, and fireball war. Just neutral jump and fireball. And now, see, now he's getting a little bit desperate. Now he's jumping in. And this was also a big risk. This Alex is really good when it comes to, like, his defense is not bad. He's been really on point with he's not been taking a lot, which is really important against Ryu. So his defense is really not that easy to crack, which is why I need to give him space. The way I'm gonna do the damage is really in the neutral game, waiting for him to make mistakes there. So I back off. As a result, like, take a look at that. I'm not being too greedy about it. Once I saw this did not work, I didn't try to go in super hard. Like, I did that in the first round, I did that, and I got punished for it, right? And here, instead of trying to go in, I back off, right? Keep neutral jumping, make sure the opponent is annoyed by the fireball game. And finally, he anti-airs me. This was the first time he punished me, right? So let's see. So he didn't get a whole lot out of it. Now he's getting thrown in the corner. And I'm just neutral jumping again. Here I'm trying to be a little bit defensive, trying to... Take a look at that. I'm just taking my time. Taking my time. But he still got in. And that's because of the V trigger. Made it somewhat easy for him to get in right there. But it took him all of his resources right there. Now he has a guess. And here's a really key moment right there. I made sure to establish, like, honestly, let's go back to the knockdown earlier in the corner, because that was really important. Like, take a look at this situation, okay? This is a situation where my opponent is reading, I'm gonna be doing something about a command throw. And because of that, he's doing the crush counter, right? But it didn't happen. I was just holding down back. My opponent is smart enough to notice that this is what happened. So I'm telling him, hey dude, use command throws. I'm not covering command throws, right? And then if we go forward, right there, my opponent does exactly that. The next moment my opponent has a chance, he goes for the command throw. Because I've shown him I'm not gonna cover it. And this is where he gets punished as a result. This was a key moment because he could have taken the life lead right there, but instead I get damage and Oki and mid-screen. The positioning is better as well. Now he starts teching. So yeah, nothing special is gonna happen here, I think. I'm just trying to be, like, take a look at how defensive I'm playing this, okay? I'm not doing anything crazy right there. I happen to hit him right there, so I take all of the damage that I can. What can you do? You can dash in once, but that's about it. You don't get a double dash for free. So all I'm doing is dash in once and do a little bit of a delayed crouching medium punch, just in case he's trying to press a button there, right? Then he happens to do this. I block, which puts me in a bit of a bad spot, but still, like, my opponent has to take a major risk here to take an advantage. Right there, I'm just playing mid-screen, and I'm trying to take that little bit of damage that I just need to win. Take a look at this situation right there. What do I do here? This is quite interesting. Instead of anti-airing with Shoryuken, which you would think is the right choice to do here, I'm going the safest route possible. I'm doing a jump back jab. Now, why is this jab important? What am I covering right there? I'm covering a delayed dive attempt by Alex. If I had anti-aired in this spot, let's take a look at that again. Anti-airing in this spot is actually a risk. If I do Shoryuken or even a hard kick, and he does the dive, then he can actually beat it clean. And I don't want that happening, because then I'm in a bad spot. It potentially gets for the game. I don't want that happening, right? So what I do is jump back jab, just in case he does it. That way I'll get out. And if he doesn't do it, that's fine as well, because I still have the life lead. He's pressured to go in and take that damage. I'm not taking a risk right there. And then, like, take a look at that. That's how you play. I show my opponent a super defensive option, and then, like, take a look at that. Then I backdash. So I'm giving him more hints I'm playing defensively. And then what do I do then? I dash forward. This forward dash is unexpected. It's highly unexpected, because I've shown my opponent that I understand the situation. I have the life lead. I want to force him to come to me. I'm taking all of the defensive choices, and then I dash in. And there's no way anyone will punish this dash in right there, because the switch from defensive to offensive is too fast. My opponent is not expecting this. So here I'm getting away with dashing and then walking up to him in his face, right? So this is another key moment. Stay unpredictable. If your game plan is solid, then you can win off of that, but the major problem with having a game plan is that once the opponent understands the plan, you become predictable, and you can open up. There's no such thing as a perfect strategy, because whatever strategy you're using, the moment your opponent knows the strategy, it becomes a weak strategy all of a sudden, right? So you need to mix it up and make sure the opponent doesn't know what to expect. So this is a delayed light kick that I'm doing particularly because I'm trying to either catch the opponent jabbing, because like after the dash he might be, oh damn, my opponent's in my face, I need to press a button, and this crouching light kick could have killed him. He could have also decided that the spacing is not good for him and start walking backwards, and then the crouching light kick will finish him off as well. So there are a couple of reasons why this light kick happens right there, but it doesn't happen. So the situation got neutralized again, and I just press a light kick right there after the fireball, because I know if he does the chop or whatever, the light kick will interrupt him. I'm just trying to go for a safe option with no risk, even less risky than the jump in, like the neutral jump from that spot. So yeah, those were a lot of thoughts, but I hope you can see there's a lot going on when you're playing, and when you're playing on high level, there's a lot of stuff you need to be thinking about and need to be testing out. And the only way you can do that is by becoming super comfortable with the game. So you need to play the game a lot. You need to get a lot of matches in until you can get to the point where you can do exactly that.